Hello guys, we are here today to make a cute project with our set called Filled with Sweetness. This is a cute bundle from Stampin' Up. It is part of the Homemade Sweetness Suite. This is currently available, and if you try to order the whole suite at once, it's going to say that it's not available, and that's because the embossing folder, which is adorable, it's got little strawberries and ladybugs on it, is not orderable. So just go ask your computer, ask the website stampinup.com to give you a email when that comes back in stock. But for now, you can order the bundle and the cute designer paper. It was out, but it's back, so that's good. And you can get started on making your cute, sweet, filled with sweetness crafts. So I think we made this last week. And we have another cute project that I'm just flashing in front of you. But we're going to actually today make a box with our bundle. Now, sometimes Facebook Live is live, and that's what it's going to be today. So, but I'll show you, well, I'll tell you in a minute what's all in this suite. All right. So we're going to start with a piece of cardstock that's 5 by 8. My name is Cogbill. This is my business, Paper Made Prettier. Please like and follow on Facebook and YouTube. Subscribe to my channel so you don't miss another video. I go live most Wednesdays at 1 Central. All right, so we've got this piece of Misty Moonlight that's cut 5 by 8. Now on the short side, we're going to score 1 inch in from either end. So the nice thing about our Stampin' trimmer is that it cuts and scores. And so the gray blades are scoring, the light gray and the dark gray is cutting. So we're scoring in 1 inch from either end on the short side. Then the long side we're going to score at 3.5 and 4.5. So that's pretty easy. 3.5, and then move it here to 4.5. All right, now we're going to cut into the short score lines on both sides. Oh, that's simple, simple. All right, so we're going to hop in, get our scissors. This is just making the box base. I call this a jar box card. My friend Rhonda created it originally, and she called it a blessing jar, which is very special. You can put little blessings in there, things that happen in your life. All right, so we're gonna score all of these. And when I make a box, I like to use Stampin' Seal Plus or tear and tape, and I have this is Stampin' Seal Plus. So we're gonna just assemble this like so. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So we're gonna put our adhesive here. Have a little piece of paper trying to hook on here and here. So we're going to pop that in and make our cute little box. Easy peasy. All right, so we're gonna set that aside, but we've got a little Misty Moonlight box now. I'm gonna shut that shade. It's like, it's super bright. Maybe too much light on the matter. All right. I can see the glare on that. Okay, now we are going to do some other stamping. So we're going to cut out a jar base. So we're going to get our piece of Misty Moonlight cardstock, and then I'm going to use my Stampin' Positioner. So this is a new product from Stampin' Up. Already got my jar in here. And I'm going to get my grid paper back down. I don't really need my grid paper today, but I'm just going to put it down and see my jar is, well, so we're just gonna put our paper in like so, and then actually I think I am gonna just line it up with that. Let that paper knock on the little, I don't know if you can see these little pegs, but we are gonna put some magnets here to hold that paper flat. And we are gonna stamp this with Misty Moonlight, okay? So we're just doing, this is what's called tone on tone stamping. We're stamping Misty Moonlight on Misty Moonlight. And there's some really cute detail to this jar. And if it's not dark enough, it's quite dark enough, but if it weren't, then we could stamp it again with our Stampin' Positioner. So, but I'm very happy with that. And I'm gonna set that aside. Now we're gonna run this through our emboss machine with our dies. Now, if I had stamped that a different direction, it would have worked better because you can see our die cuts out the jar like this. But no worries, we'll just make 2 cuts instead of 1. Okay. So we're gonna zip this through. Yeah, I'm gonna have to cut that down. So our first cut is gonna be here. So we're gonna use our dies from the bundle to cut out this sweet jar. Now, alternatively, you can cut the jar and stamp it. I've done that too. It's actually probably either way you want to do it, but this way you get a little bit, you're going to be guaranteed that you're going to get that straight. Okay. So that's your front of the jar, front of the box. And then we're going to cut one more jar for the back. And we're not going to stamp that. I mean, I suppose you could, but it's not necessary. Okay. Now, the way this die works is it's also cuts on a fold, and so you can make a card that's the shape of a jar. But we're just going to cut that off here in a second. I'll show you what I mean. All right, keep your machine closed because we're going to do some other die cutting here in a minute. But we've got a front and the back of our jar, like so. Now, we can trim this down with our trimmer. You could trim it with scissors too, but I'll trim it with my trimmer. And then same here. So the die is made to where you can make a jar that folds into itself, but we just want a separate jar here. Because then we're going to stick the front and the back of our jar to our box. So this is going to go here. I'm actually going to put the adhesive on my box. And then we're going to line, it looks like we're going to line this up with the bottom of our jar. I mean, of our box. So it's going to hang off a little bit. See what I'm doing there? Yeah. And then this piece is going to mirror that. So then it just stands up like so. Adorable. So we have our cute little box. And we're going to use our ribbon, which is Misty Moonlight checked ribbon. And let's see, I've got one that's not opened, but I've already opened one. Well, I'll just open it because I'm sure we'll use it at some point. So this is a Misty Moonlight white checked ribbon, which looks fantastic on this project. We're going to tie that around in a cute little bow. All right, so voila. Precious. All right, that's the base of our box. Now we're going to do the cuteness for the box. So that's our preciousness. Now, this is probably my favorite part of this die set, and that is we're going to cut this little piece of designer paper with this die. It's a little, it's like a cloth lid for your jar. So I'm going to get that ready, and then I'm actually going to also go ahead and cut a couple of white pieces. So I'm going to cut, actually I'm going to go ahead and stamp my blueberries onto here with Memento. I just ordered a new black, so we're getting some new items. One of them is a new multi-purpose black ink pad. I'm very excited about that. But we are going to stamp this blueberries onto some basic white here. And now we're going to do some die cutting. Get this black out of the way. I'm just going to try to do all my die cutting at once. I'm sure I'll need to do too, but I usually try to get it done at once. Okay, so we're going to do our designer paper lid, like jar, cloth jar lid cover. Precious. And we're going to cut out our blueberries. Get that die out. And then I'm also going to cut out this. These two little sentiment dies are fabulous. I'll show you. There's one that looks like this and one that looks like that. So, oh, and this one as well. So we've got three really fantastic. And a little tag. So a multi-purpose set. I always love things that kind of do more than you think they would, because we have all these cute little labels, which you would see on a fun jar of jam. All right, so we've got white, white, white. And then we need to get a little, what do you call it? Post-it note tape on the blueberries. Get those ready to go. Okay, done. I think we're all good here. Let's sweep this through the emboss machine. And I think we'll be ready to assemble our box. All right. So we've got our label. We've got two little white flowers. They're precious as pie. One. And we've got two flowers in here, so you don't have to run that through twice. It's a 2-for-1 situation. I always love that about these little dies that Stampin' Up! Gives us two. I'm sure I'm going to take your pick tools around here somewhere. So 2 flowers. And then we've got our blueberries. Now I'm going to go ahead and get out my... So you can see there's cutting and embossing on there. Super precious. All right, now let's get all this stuff out of the way and get going. Now, I'm going to color my blueberries with Misty Moonlight. I'm not going to be careful here. I'm just going to color them with one color of Misty Moonlight. You could get fancy with both colors, but I'm gonna just do one. And I am gonna leave that greenery for coloring. The stem of the blueberry does need to be green. Did not grab a green blend, so let me go digging for any green. And the one I want is on top. Yay! I think because I just did the strawberry card using this. So Granny Apple Green, I'll tell you, the Granny Apple was on not orderable for a long time, but it's back. So if you were needing a Granny Apple Green blend, then you're in business. Okay, so next thing, we're going to adhere this little lid, cloth lid on top of our jar, like so. Precious. And we're going to stamp with Misty Moonlight. And I'm going to stamp Love You Very Much. Oh, you know what? I think I'm going to stamp You're the Sweetest. Because I have some people that I need to... I mean, I do love people as well, but I have some people I need to send some thank yous to. So this will be a good... thank you. You're the sweetest. And now I'll get to assembling. So let's kind of center this along our jar. And then we're going to use dimensionals at the top and the bottom of this die cut. To put this, sorry. So we've got that. And then we're going to pop our blueberries down. What I'm going to do is just put a dimensional under here and pop that right there. So that gets it right on line with there. And then I am going to stick these two little precious flowers on with liquid glue. And I'm going to put a dab here and a dab here. And we're just going to pop our flowers down. And then we're going to use our embellishments. Now these are called Strawberries and Dots. They are here. All of this is online. So I've told you before, if you are missing out on what's online, then you're depriving yourself of so many cute things. We have a ton of cuteness online. So these are the Strawberries and Dots. There's Misty Moonlight, Strawberry Slush, and then there's Strawberries galore. So I am going to just put this blue Misty Moonlight circle right there on that cute flower. And this is our precious box. Now let me see. I had an idea of what could fit in here. I had two items that I thought would be precious. Well, a lot of things will fit in here, but a number of these little chocolates. You could fit some little gummy bears. It's actually even bigger than that. You could fit 2 packs of that. Just whatever you would want. You could even put some jelly packets, or just write some nice notes to people. But that's your cute little blessing jar. Again, the suite is called Homemade Sweetness Suite, and everything is available except for the embossing folder. So you want to grab the Homemade Sweetness paper, the Filled with Sweetness stamp set and dies, the Strawberries and Dots embellishments, and the Misty Moonlight checkered trim. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.